Hare Krishna. Hope everybody is doing fine. Hope everybody is happily in the association of Bhagavad Gita, chanting Krishna's names. Hare Krishna. This evening, we will be touching upon chapter 4. We have completed chapter 3. And chapter 3, basically, we discussed, had aspects from the subject matter of Karma Yoga, where Arjuna's question is asked first, and there is a confusion in Arjuna whether to give up completely and go as per the importance given to knowledge, or to give up or to act in Karma Yoga. And Krishna cautions him and proves to him how staying and fighting and doing a duty is better than prematurely renouncing. Then he explains the science of work, the system set up in the cycle of sacrifice. Then he gives various examples of himself, Janaka Maharaj, everything, and just asks him to perform Nishkama Karma Yoga, perform for the Supreme. And then Arjuna asks, why is it that sometimes I'm forced to do things which I don't want to do? Anicham api varshneya baladiva nyojita. And Krishna explains about lust, which pushes you. Kama yesha krodha yesha rajoguna samudbhava mahashano mahapapama viddyenam ihavairinam. In this way, Krishna tells him that great destroyer, tasma tvamindriyan yadav niyamya bharatarishabha manam prajahiyenam jnana vijnana nashanam. Therefore, Arjuna, best of the Bharatas, in the very beginning of this great symbol, lust, by regulating the senses and slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. So what is that knowledge that gets destroyed because of lust, because of karma? That's a subject matter. And Krishna starts this chapter called Transcendental Knowledge. And he starts by explaining to Arjuna, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam vivasvan manave praha manurikshva kave abravet. He tells Arjuna that I am the originator of this knowledge, which can get screwed up by lust, which can get spoiled by lust. If you don't control your mind, don't control your senses, and don't control lust, you'll be lost. So Krishna explains here that I am the originator of that knowledge. From me, this knowledge comes. Imam vivasvate yogam. And I instructed Vivaswan. In this way, Krishna gives a beautiful explanation to Arjuna about what knowledge really is. And we are forced to think, after especially reading this chapter, what is knowledge? What am I doing? Whether what am I doing is correct or wrong? Whether am I learning the correct things? Right? So on the screen, you will see, would you like to read that?
The personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god, Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind. And Manu in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku.
Yeah, thank you. So Krishna is here tracing the history of the Gita. If you've read the purport, you know. He's saying that originally Krishna, about 120 million years ago, Prabhupada calculates in the purport, if you have read a very extensive purport, he calculates what is the age of the Bhagavad Gita according to the shloka. Imam vivasvate yogam. Vivasvan manave praha manurikshvakave abravit. Vivasvan means the sun god, Surya Deva. And Surya Deva instructed it to Manu. And Manu, that is about 2 million years ago, instructed to his Ikshvaku. Ikshvaku is the race in which Lord Ramachandra appeared. And from then on, great Raja Rishis have been carrying on this great information. And 5,000 years ago, recently, Krishna instructed it to Arjuna, where he is speaking this on the battlefield. And that is the history of the Bhagavad Gita. Don't think it is just 2,000 years old, 3,000. If you see the Indologists saying so, you will see that they just calculate by some here and there, some archaeological evidences, and they say that, it is only so many years old. But we know that we have proof in India itself that it is 5,000 years old. There are Dwaraka remains in the sea in Gujarat, and it has been timed and seen, yes, correct, as per the scripture, Kali Yuga, 5,000 plus years back, at the end of Dwapara Yuga, Krishna spoke this. And beyond that, in the Bhagavad Gita itself, which if you agree 5,000 years back it was spoken, then inside the Bhagavad Gita it says Ikshvaku, Manu, Vivaswan, and down up to 120 million years ago. This is a lot of time. Krishna is saying, therefore the science that Krishna is giving is very old, very, very old. That's why he's saying, coming in this line of pure knowledge, all these great personalities and many in between actually maintain this information intact without eating anything out of it, without adding anything to it. Maybe many of them sort of spoiled it by interpreting it in different ways, according to their own likes and dislikes, because there's no copyright and patent or anything on the Bhagavad Gita. But that knowledge remains intact. That is why when a pure devotee of the Lord explains it, it comes alive again. And that happened in recent times. 50 years back, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada took his Bhagavad Gita and went to the Western world and started explaining again. This is the revival of that knowledge. That's why Krishna is saying, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu sakala neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, parampara, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it appears to be lost. So whenever this thing happens, it can be revived again. And it is the same information that I gave to Vivaswan, Manu, and Ikshvaku, and it came down the line. Again, I'm speaking that same thing to you. Krishna is saying, Sa evayam mayate adhya yoga prokta puratanaha bhaktosi me sakacheti rahasyam hi etat uttamam. Very interesting. He's that very ancient science I'm speaking to you again. I have not changed it. Okay. I'm going to ask Sandhya Natarajan to read this translation.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
That ancient science of relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you, because you are my devotee as well as my friend, and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of the science.
Thank you.
Maharaj.
That very same science of the relationship every Atma has with the Supreme is again being repeated by Krishna to Arjuna on the battlefield, right? And why is it? What is the condition Krishna is laying? Bhakto sime sakha cheti. You are my devotee and my friend in this particular Leela. Therefore, rahasyam hi etat uttamam. Rahasya means this wonderful secret, confidential knowledge. I am going to speak this to you. Rahasya means something secret. Means what? Not everybody gets to hear it. Not everybody gets to hear it. Very, very few people get to hear it. They are chosen people. Everybody else can read Bhagavad Gita and pass comments on it and everything, but they won't get this understanding. This understanding Krishna is giving only specifically to his devotee. Rahasyam, it is confidential knowledge, right? So these are points that you should note very carefully. This knowledge doesn't change in time. It's not like that somebody is getting a big reward for the research that he has done. It gets national award, then it gets international award and everything. And then after 15 years, another person also does work on the same thing. And he finds out something directly opposite to what this person has done. And he supersedes that knowledge. That person also gets the Nobel Prize, maybe. As time changes, the knowledge also changes. In other words, you're getting more and more understanding, and the previous thing that you knew is no more relevant. So it doesn't change like that. Knowledge is not changing like that. It is absolute truth. So it does not change. And the interesting thing is that everybody cannot pick it up. You can't just read Bhagavad Gita and pick it up. You need to have the mercy of the Lord. You need to allow him to open it up for you. You need to have a person in between, Guru, who can explain that to you. That's why it is mentioned, it is rahasyam. Very important point for you to note. It's confidential knowledge. Not every Tom, Dick and Harry gets it. Every Tom, Dick and Harry does not get it. Right? So this is very important for us to know that such type of information is very special, and it is coming to us by the mercy of the Lord. And you should have a relationship with the Lord of love. Only if you're a bhakta can you become qualified to get that information. He's saying that bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hi etat uttamam. Because you are my devotee and you are my closely related friend, I'm speaking this to you. Normally, I don't speak this to anybody. But amazingly, that same information is coming through another pure devotee to us, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. There are so many people who explain the Bhagavad Gita, but that information which Arjuna understood is not coming out of it. That understanding and that information only comes to those people who are devotees of the Lord. So somehow by the mercy of a pure devotee, we are all also being exposed to this. It is up to us to actually seize the moment and take this and practice it. So these are powerful shlokas and information that's being given here, right? Then Krishna goes further. Arjuna is listening very carefully. Krishna goes further and he explains that this knowledge is like this. So Arjuna asks a question. How am I to believe you? Because this Ikshvaku, Vivaswan, all of them are very, very senior to you, 120 million years ago. How can I believe that you spoke this 120 million years ago? What are you trying to tell me? I can't believe you. And it's a very interesting question he asks. How am I to believe that you spoke this 120 million years ago to somebody? He did not know whom he is speaking to, you may think. No, he knows very well. Prabhupada explains that he's actually doing this for the sake of people who will have this question in their head. For common people who will say, what is this nonsense? 120 million years ago, I spoke, you're coming and telling. How am I supposed to believe this? Because you don't know whom you're talking to. You don't know who is speaking the Bhagavad Gita. Who is he? Oh, I know he's Krishna. He's one of the many gods. No. So Krishna is explaining himself now because Arjuna asked that question. How am I to believe you? Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam veta parantapa. Now Krishna starts revealing himself. Very good question you asked. I will tell you who I am and who is this person speaking to you and why his authority is important to you, right? And he starts revealing himself briefly to Arjuna. Okay, so this is a very important chapter And there are interesting things happening here, and there are amazing questions being asked by Arjuna. So you must carefully listen to this, right? So I'm going to ask Ashwati Srinivas to read this. Ashwati Srinivas?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Yes, please read this translation on the screen, Ashwati.
The personality of Godhead said, many births, both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of the enemy.
Thank you, Ashwati. So
Hare
look at that. I am different from you. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I and you have passed many births. I remember all of them, including all your births also. But you cannot. That's the difference between you and me. Right? I am God. You are an ordinary spirit soul, living entity. So you cannot do what I am doing or what I am able to do. In this way, the distinction between God and the living entity, Atma, is being explained now by Krishna. Bahuni me vidit, many janmas. Janmani tavacha Arjuna. Tanyaham Veda Sarvani. I know everything. Natvam Veta Parantopa. You don't remember. You won't remember. Right? So Prabhupada is telling in the purport a very interesting thing. A living entity forgets everything due to his change of body. Our body changes. But the Lord remembers because he does not change his Satchitananda body. He is Advaita, which means there is no distinction between his body and himself. If you read the purport, you will understand this very important point. Your bodies are changing every life. Every lifetime you take, you read that in the second chapter, Dehino asmin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara, change is happening. And along with the body change, your memory also is shut off from your previous life. It's closed, password protected. You can't open up that archive from your previous life. But for Krishna, he and his body are the same. They are both transcendental, Satchitananda body. He does not have a material body. So there is no question of Krishna forgetting. He is continuously existing. But you, although your spirit soul continuously existing, the body changes. And along with the change of the body, the memory of the past is actually locked up, not available to you. This is the difference between a conditioned soul and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Right? You will forget. God will not forget. In this way, Krishna starts explaining the difference between you and me, Arjuna, or the difference between God and the living entity, the human being, is that he is supreme, he is permanent, his body doesn't change. And then who is that person also, he reveals himself. And why has he come here now? And why does he regularly come? And how can you know him? These topics are explained very nicely. We will examine this briefly as we move ahead. Okay? So, Krishna is saying next to Arjuna, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti. So Arjuna, very interesting. Krishna is briefly revealing himself. He will reveal more about himself in the 7th, 8th, 9th chapters also in detail. But because Arjuna has asked this question, he is simply saying there's a difference between you and me. Who am I? How can you know me? Yomam veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti. So Arjuna, my birth in this world and my activities are not like that of yours. They are different. They are all transcendental, divyam. Right? And if you get to understand it, how it is transcendental, for you also there'll be no birth in this world. You'll get liberated. That's a very interesting statement made by Krishna. That if you get to understand, which means it is difficult to understand. It's not so easy to understand. Okay. So what is the meaning of that? Please read that. Please read that. Anuttama Gopal. Would you like to read that?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. O Arjuna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Anuttama. So just understand this. It's very important. It started with Krishna telling, I gave this knowledge, the knowledge that gets destroyed by lust, which he explained in the 3rd chapter. I gave it, it's got a history. And then he explains 120 million years ago, I spoke about this to Vivaswan and Vivaswan Manave Praha Manurikshvakeve Bravit. And then Arjuna is questioning, how do I know what you're saying is true, 120 million years ago? And then Krishna is saying, you don't know, I know everything. I am the Supreme Lord. And then he's saying, if you know me, if you know my transcendental nature, not material nature that we and you are stuck with, transcendental to matter. If you know my appearance and activities, my appearance in this world and my lila or my activities, if you get to know, yo evam veti tatvatah, in truth you come to know, not speculations. For you, then, when leaving this body, tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti, there is no rebirth again. Right? Mam eti so Arjuna, you will come back to me. You'll attain my eternal abode. So now you understand how important it is to understand who is God, who is Krishna, who is that Supreme Personality. What are his activities? Why does he come? How does he look? What does he do? If you get to know these things, there's no more birth and death for you in this world. It's an amazing formula. It's an amazing guarantee giving to you. Krishna goes further and says that I can be known by anybody actually. And I come, like I mentioned, Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yoveti Tatvatah. I come time and again to protect my devotees. If you go to Bhagavad Gita text 6, if it's in your hands, you will see there Krishna is explaining. After he explains before he explains Janma Karma Chame Divyam, he's saying that although I am unborn, he explained about my body. My body is not like yours, Arjuna. I am Satchitananda Vigraha. I have a transcendental body. And I come and appear by my own will. I have no karma, I have no laws governing me, because I am the Lord and Master of everything. I can come and go whenever I want. I am not refrained. Therefore, I will remember everything. I am permanently an aspect of this world. So then he says, why do I come? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. I am coming because there are my devotees. Paritranaya sadhuna vinachaya cha dushkritam. I didn't put up these two very popular slokas, but everybody in India at least knows it by heart from seeing the serial on Mahabharata. So he's saying, yada yada hi dharmasya glani. Whenever dharma, religious principles are affected and they are not in place, I come to put them back in place. But I actually come, paritranaya sadhunam, to be with my devotees, spend time with them, show my leela to them, enrich them, rejuvenate them, make them thrilled and happy with my presence and my association. For that reason only I come, right? And one who knows this about my appearance and my activities, he will get liberated from here. This is what Krishna is saying. And then he's saying, actually, everybody is searching for me. I am the supreme object of love. I am the object of reality. scientists, philosophers, human beings, materialists, gyanis, yogis, everybody is looking for that ultimate reality, and that is me. I am that person, I am that reality, Parabrahman, and everybody is looking at me and trying to search for me. Ye yatamam prapadyante tangstateva bhajamyaham mama vartamanu vartante manushaha partha sarvashah. This is very interesting. Everybody, if they get to the point of me, they have completed their search, their seeking. But they get stuck in various pathways that lead to me. But they will not be happy in each one of those pathways. Actually, when they come to me, because everyone is a part and parcel of me, only then they will be actually completely realizing the truth. So as they surrender to me, I reciprocate with them. This is the real business proposal. Yeyatamam prapadyante. As you come to me with eagerness and desire to know me, which that much eagerness and enthusiasm you have, accordingly I also reciprocate. In other words, I won't do more than your enthusiasm. As much as you want and you can, and as much as you're willing to give and take effort, proportionately to that, I will reveal myself to you. This is very interesting to know. It's not that we should think, Krishna, you're very merciful. Although I'm a nonsense guy, not interested in you, please reveal yourself to me. Not necessary at all. Because like is mentioned, it's very confidential, knowing Krishna, the Supreme Absolute Truth. And if you don't want him, why should the Supreme Absolute Truth reveal himself to you? Right? That's why the saying goes, Prabhupada was once, feeding ducks with popcorn. Somewhere, I think in Germany, in the lake, and all the ducks started quacking, 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 quacking. And he threw at those ducks that were quacking more. And then he said, those ducks that quack more, they get more of the food because they're asking for it. And he used that as a statement. He said, the one who is more interested in asking for more and is inquisitive and eager, he will get more attention. That's the meaning of saying, Yeyata Mam Prapadyante. How much enthusiasm you have to understand the reality, the truth, and how much effort are you making? How sincerely are you praying? How sincerely are you performing the sadhana of chanting the holy name, of reading Bhagavad Gita, associating with devotees, worshipping Krishna, etc. To that same extent, he will reciprocate with you. Isn't that amazing? So don't think Krishna is a fool. As much as you give, that much you will get. If you don't want to know about Krishna, if you don't want to be loving Krishna, if you don't want to show your affection and love, that's okay, perfectly all right. Nobody is forcing you. But what you will get is proportionate to that, you'll get understanding of reality. Right? This is very important to know. In other words, you are rewarded according to your interest, your effort, everything. So what people normally do, Krishna is telling here, they want material things mostly. For that, I have outsourced that material stuff to the demigods or to the devatas. So if you go to 12th shloka, he's saying, Kangshatah karmanam siddhim yajanta hi devataha kshipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Very profound statement. Right? Satyendra Hiradesai, would you like to read the translation of text 12 from your book?
Yeah, let me get the book, Maharaj. I don't have it in front of me.
You don't have. Who has got it in front of him? Draupadi, you have got the book in front of you? Translation of Prabhupada's.
Yes, Maharaj. I'll just
Please
get
read the
page.
translation.
12th?
12.
Which shloka, Maharaj?
Chapter 4, text 12. All of you keep your book open at chapter 4. We are reading from 1 to 15 today. Have you got text 12?
Yes.
The translation.
Chapter 4, 12th shloka.
Yeah.
Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world.
Yeah. Look at that. Most people won't want me. Like he mentioned in the 11th shloka. Most of them want something quick fix. I want this lottery ticket. I want money. I want my daughter to get married. I want my son to go to so-and-so place. I want this contract. I want this guy to think good about me. Da 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 da. And these chota material requirements that you have for living in this world, I don't directly deal with them. I have outsourced it to the demigods. You can approach them if you want that. But if you want me, if you want pure devotion to me, then I personally attend to you. That you will hear in the later chapters. So this is a very profound statement. He's saying you can go to the demigods if you want anything material. And who is supplying to the demigods? Me only. In the 7th chapter, he will say that also. Demigods get supply from me only. I am the origin of everything. The demigods, aham adirhi devanam. I am the adi, I am the foundation, I am the origin of the devatas. So you can see that he's saying, Kshipram hi manushe loke. Very quickly they will get, they'll do some sacrifice, homa, yagya and all, they'll get. So I have arranged that for them. Whatever is necessary, if they pay up for that, they'll get it. It's like going to the shop and getting it. If you give the money, you'll get the stuff very easily. Everything is available in the mall. You just ride up there and you just go and pay the money, you pick it out of the shelf, pay the money and bill it and you come back. Kshiprami manusya, very easily I can buy it. But I cannot buy affection, love by going to the mall. That doesn't come by paying money. Similarly, understanding of the Supreme Lord is different. And one who has understood by cultivated relationship, like you saw in the previous sloka, Janma karma chame divyam, he will come back to me at the end of life. Right? This is the difference. One is material, the other one is completely spiritual, beyond matter. Two things. If you want the material stuff, I've outsourced it to demigods. If you want the spiritual stuff, devotion and prema to me, which is eternal, and you'll come to the Vaikuntha planets with me, that I personally attend. Right? This is to be understood. Then Krishna goes ahead and says in the 13th shloka, for that sake, I have made a system so that you can peacefully get your material requirement in this world. There is a social system in function so that you can practice your religion. Religion means limited material facility for enjoying, and other side, I'm focused on also getting the Supreme Lord. So demigods, you will pray for your material requirements, and the Supreme Lord, you'll pray for your spiritual devotional requirement. That is called Varnashrama. And Krishna is saying, I have made that system. There are 4 classes of people in this world. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagasah tasya kartaram apimam vidhi akartaram avyayam. Sandhya, will you read that shloka on the screen?
According to the 3 modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the 4 divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable.
Yes. Very interesting. He already told Arjuna that you don't remember anything. I remember everything because I'm unchanged in my body. And my spiritual body exists throughout. 120 million years ago I came, same person I am. But for you, it's different. So Krishna is saying here, for you people who constantly change your bodies and how the world gets created for you repeatedly and destroyed, I have created a system when it is functioning, right? And there are 3 gunas acting, the force of material nature on you. According to the proportion of the gunas acting on you, you will have guna and karma from your past. According to that, you'll have an inclination, a proclivity to do certain things. So I have created 4 permutations and combinations broadly. And they are very easily observed. Chatur Varnyam, that is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And he's telling, cautioning, although I am the creator, I am not subjected to the system. Right? I am not subjected to the system. I am beyond it, because I already told you, I am the supreme. This is very interesting. So social system is considered to be like the body. The head is the Brahmanas, the hands are the Kshatriyas, and the torso, the stomach is the Vaishyas, and the legs are the Shudras. It has got specific, and this is specific analogy given in the Vedic Shastras. What does this mean? That the Brahmanas who are ruled by Sattvika Guna, they are the ones who are teachers, advisors, priests, and they advise the government, the king, and everything. They are very well read, very well educated. The Kshatriyas are statesmen, soldiers, king, and everybody who keep law and order together, protect the country, and make everybody go on the path of dharma. That's the duty of the king. And then there are people who are businessmen, farmers, merchants, buying and selling, cultivating, and doing everything. They are the mercantile community. Then there is pure labor class of people, because their intelligence is very low. They can only work with their body. They form the legs of society, Shudras. And mind you, this is all not caste system like they think. It's a completely scientific system, and these people don't understand what it is. And they gave this caption, caste system, caste and everything. The word caste itself was fabricated by the Britishers for the sake of classifying people inside and denigrating people as lower caste, higher caste, everything. The work of caste system was done by the Britishers only, but the Brahmins and others are blamed for it. The Brahmins, of course, acted in a very funny way. They thought they are very superior. That they did. But they were teaching society what is mentioned in the Vedas. You see, the Brahmins are very important. Don't get, without any prejudice and bias, if you see it, without the head, this body will never work. But without the legs, it will work to some extent. Without the hands, it will work to some extent. But without the head, it's totally dead. Brahmanas are essential. If there are no Brahmanas in society giving direction to people as per Veda, as per Bhagavad Gita, as Bhagavatam, and teaching them what's the right thing, society will be chaotic like it is now. There is no proper leadership, there's no advice, there is no training, there's no information on what's true, what's not true, what is the reality, nobody knows. So, Raja Rishi, why Krishna is saying, Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarshayo Vidhu, that all these Brahmanas will continuously, instruct all these great kings who come. And with the advice of the kings, they will rule very well so that people will become associated with the Lord and go on the path of Dharma. This is the system set up. Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam. I created it. Srishti, Srishtam. Guna Karma Vibhagasha. The criterion for creating is that according to the karma of that person from past activities and his guna, the gunas that are affecting him most. Some are affected by Sattvika Guna in greater amount. Some are affected by Rajasika Guna in greater amount. Some are affected by Tamasika Guna in greater amount. There's a permutation and combination you will see according to your horoscope and according to your previous karma. According to that, you will act anyway. So this classification is made according to that, right? So Krishna is being advised. If you go to 14th chapter, 14th shloka, before this 15 on the screen, you can see that Krishna is saying, in the end of that, he said, in the end of the 13th chapter, he said, I am not implicated. Nothing happens to me because of this system of Chaturvarnyam. Nothing happens to me. But you should also know that I'm not in any way implicated in this world. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spriha. Idimam yobi janati karmabhir nasa bhadyate. In the 14th shloka, if you've got it in front of you, you'll say, very brilliant, wonderful explanation Krishna is giving. So I would like somebody to read that. You would like to read that? Parag Phai Desai? Parag Phai Desai, would you like to read that? From text 14 translation. Maybe Parag Phai Desai, are you there? You're not there. Okay. Amrita Menon. Amrita Menon, would you like to read the translation to text 14?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I'm so sorry
Yes.
that I do not have the English version with me.
Oh, you don't have the book with you?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Okay. Somebody else can read. Alamelu Mangalai. Alamelu Mangai. Will you like to read that? Text 14, if you have the book in front of you. All of you should keep the Bhagavad Gita open in front of you, because I'm not going to put up all the shlokas always. It will be
Maharaj, I have only Tamil version, Maharaj.
No, you need to have the English version. If you don't
I will
have,
read,
okay,
Maharaj.
somebody else can read then. I'm
I will
trying my
read it.
best. Aparna? Aparna, you have?
Yes, Maharaj. Namaste.
Yes, text 14 translation, please read.
Yeah. Since I have no craving for the fruit of actions, actions do not.
14. Chapter 4, text 14.
Yeah. Yes. This is what it is there in my book, chapter 4, text 14.
Yeah, are you reading Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's book?
No, Maharaj, I have.
That's why. That will be very different. It's
I
better
read,
you read
Maharaj?
from Prabhupada's book. Who else has got it?
Can I read?
Please read. Girish and Sunita, you can read if you have.
Yes. Can I read?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Maharaj. I am not by karma tainted. I do not desire the fruit of karma. One who recognizes me to be thus, he is not bound to karma.
No, are you reading from Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's text? Bhagavad Gita?
It's not that.
Swamiji, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, please read.
There is no work that affects me.
Is this one? There is no work
Yeah, that's the one.
that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands the truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitative reactions of words.
Yes,
Of
thank
work,
you.
I'm sorry, of work.
Yes. So, this is very, very important. Namam karmani limpanti. I am not coming to this world because of the karma, like you. Name karma phale spriha. Means you cannot touch me. One who understands this truth about me, he will also get relieved from all karmic reactions. In other words, Krishna is starting to explain the difference between God and the living entity. If you can understand God, who He is in reality, you will be immensely benefited. What did He say earlier? Janma karma chame divyam. If you know my activities and my birth and my transcendental nature of these things, you don't have to come back to this world again. Now He's telling, if you understand that I am not like you, under the pressure of karma of the past, then you will become free from your karma. You get purified. Simply if you understand me like that. So isn't it amazing? Look at the concessions Krishna is giving. If you can understand Gita properly, according to the instruction, what amazing concessions and discounts you're getting. You become totally free from karma. Your horoscope will become white. All bad karmas now will disappear. All the results will disappear. You become a pure soul. If you simply understand Krishna. So, understand this very carefully. Therefore, Arjuna is being told by Krishna, Evam jnatva kritam karma purvair api mumukshubhihi kuru karmaiva tasmatvam purvai purvataram kritam. Isn't that amazing? Right. Ajit Kumar, do you have Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita in front of you? Oh, you can look at the screen and the sloka is on the screen.
Sorry, Maharaj, I don't have that version of the English version.
Yeah, please read the screen.
Okay. All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding and so attained the liberation. Therefore, as the ancients, you should perform your duty in the divine consciousness.
Yes. Because I am instructing you and giving you this confidential information about me, you must understand also in the past, people got this clear information and became totally free from any material contamination. Purvai purvataram kritam. In this divine consciousness, many people acted and they attained liberation. Same way you also do. The duty which you're supposed to do, you do in that consciousness. That is the better way of utilizing the situation that you have in front of you to gain for yourself. Don't run away when a situation occurs like this. Sit down, depend on Krishna, execute the instructions of Krishna, and you will benefit. You must remember that Arjuna has a problem and is seriously considering leaving the battlefield and not taking part in this war. And all these reasoning and all these convictions are coming on the basis of what he thinks. Krishna is defeating all those arguments. And he's saying, this is why I'm telling you, you should act properly, intelligently, strategically to benefit yourself using the situation. Okay? Purvai purvataram kritam. Okay, I'm going to stop there. This is a first 15 shlokas. They got very intense, deep shlokas, each one of them, revealing amazing things. Because first it started with Krishna telling, what is that knowledge that I'm speaking of that get destroyed by lust, which I spoke to you in the 3rd chapter. That knowledge is explaining. That knowledge I gave in the parampara. And 120 million years ago, I spoke about it. And 5,000 years back, Krishna is saying this on the battlefield. The same knowledge I'm giving to Arjuna. Sa evayam mayate adya yoga prokta puratana hai. Puratana, very old. Why I'm giving it to you now? That confidential things. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam gi etad uttamam. You're my devotee. You're my friend. I'm so close to you. Therefore, this rahasyam, this secret, I will share with you. And then Arjuna says, how am I supposed to understand that what you say will be the truth? Because already you're, putting me in a very confused situation by saying that 120 million years ago you spoke this. How do I know anything about what happened 120 million years ago? You want me to believe that stuff which you're telling? I don't remember this at all. I don't even remember my past life and 2 lives earlier. I'll have to do some hypnotic regression somewhere to be able to remember, and which that also may not function very safely. So natural question is, can you come down back and to the Earth planet and sit down and talk to me properly instead of flying away 120 million years ago? I don't understand you. So Krishna is telling, yeah, you will not understand if you do it in a calculative sense like that. If you want to rationally think about it, you can't understand. But you must understand that you and me are not the same. First, you understand that. I am God. I am Bhagavan. I am the Supreme Personality of God is speaking to you. For me, I am not conditioned like you with a material body that is born and it dies and all that. I don't have to go through all that. I'm not conditioned like you. I'm not taken birth in this world to finish my karma by the force of previous reactions or anything, nothing like that. I am free. I come when I want, I go when I want. Ajo apisan abhyayatma bhutanam ishvaro apisan prakritim swam adhisthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Atma mayaya. By my own energy, I come in and out whenever I want. It's my property. It's my place. All these people are working under my order. So I am the boss, I am the king, I am the reality, I am the source. I don't have to ask anybody's permission. And I come in my transcendental form. Atma Mayaya, energy, and I come in my form. It is very difficult for you to understand. And that form of mind, that body of mind, which is Satchitananda, doesn't change, doesn't need to change. It's perpetual. Right? And he explains about his form, his body, Swarupa. And then he goes further to explain more differences between him and Arjuna. To make it very clear to all of us also who are going to be listening, that don't think you can become God. Becoming God is not the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. He's too far away. And you cannot become envious of God because he's too far away, he's too powerful. If you become envious of God, you'll continue to stay here only. The idea is to understand I'm a part and parcel of God. I would like to actually serve God and become godly. I can become godly, but not God. Becoming God is impossible. Only one person is God. Nobody else is God. But I can become godly, spiritual, fully. And I can get to that path which Krishna is showing. Ye yata mam prapadyante. It is me whom you are searching for always. When you're worried, when you're troubled, when you're confused, when you want some direction, everything, it's me whom you're searching for. I am the reality, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. Like Jesus Christ told his followers, I am the truth, I am the way, I am the life. You're searching for me. You're looking for me. Right? Same instruction is given by the Swayam Supreme Lord himself. Ye yata mam prapadyante. And sometimes people don't understand it. They get stuck with demigod worship. They don't go beyond. First, give me my material supplies. All I know is my material reality. Who will give me what I read now? I don't know all this transcendental stuff that you're talking about, God, he and all that. I don't see him. And every day I need my roti, kapda, makan. What I see, what I feel, what I think, and what I can perceive is my world. Okay, fine, go ahead. The demigods will give you what you want for living in that world. Even that is one type of, pathway. One station in the pathway to me. Right? But the better thing, Arjuna, is to get to know me. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti. So Arjuna, if you can understand my transcendental nature, my activities, my birth, then you don't have to be here at all. Because I am coming regularly for dharma sthapana, religious performance, and the proper activity should be there in human society. Otherwise, it will become chaotic. So when that gets upset, I come and set it right. This is why I come regularly. But actually speaking, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. My first purpose is to come and protect my devotees from people like Kamsa, people like Duryodhana, and all these fellows. Like you Pandavas are very dear to me. And Duryodhana has attacked you. He tried to, disrobe Draupadi. He's insulted you, tried to kill Bhima, did so many nonsensical things. I will set it right. I'll set religion proper. I'll put dharma properly in place. I will take him out and put you. Dharma samsthapanarthaya. For this I have come. And I will do it anyway. Whether you fight for me or not, it's going to happen. Because that's what I come for. So that also is giving a hint, right? Actually, my reason is to be with the devotees. Killing demons and putting these guys in place, no, I can do from my house itself in Vaikunta. I just have to press my remote, dup, he will fall down, Duryodhana. I don't have to come all the way here to kill Duryodhana. I am so powerful That sitting there itself, I can do it. I don't have to come here to kill Ravana. I don't have to come here to kill Hiranyakashipu. I don't have to come here to kill Kamsa. That is my Leela. When I do that, all my devotees get damn thrilled. The heroic activities I perform, the pastimes, the Leela I perform, and they keep thinking about it, talking about it, and because of that, they get purified and come back to me. For them, I do all these things. Really speaking, my killing of Kamsa and Ravana and all of them is to give my devotees the thrill of the right thing. Victory of good over evil. They enjoy it and they remember me more and more. For that I come, to enact it publicly in a historic, dramatic way. I do it. Right? And they will remember about it. They'll talk about it. How he killed Kamsa. He was 10 years old. Akrura came and pulled him out of Vrindavan and brought him in a chariot. Kamsa had made a huge plan. Chanura, Mushtika, deadly wrestlers. Kuvalaya Pida, the big, huge elephant, was supposed to attack Krishna and Balaram. So they did that first elephant attack. Krishna took hold of the elephant by his tail and swung it like a, like what do you call the hammer throw or something in Olympics, and threw it. It died immediately. This young boys, and everybody was stunned. All his devotees were, wow, great. And then he entered the arena of the wrestler, and then he finished Chanura and Mushtika, both of them finished. And then immediately Kamsa became very angry. Who are these two? All my best people have been finished because of these two people. The best way to irritate this person is his father and mother put him in the prison. Devaki and this put him in the prison. Don't allow them to get out. He started shouting all this nonsense. My father also supports this Krishna. Kill him. Kamsa wants to kill his father, Ugrasena, and he said Devaki and Vasudeva, put them back in the prison. Nonsense. He started yelling from there, watching that all his people are destroyed. Kuvalya, Pida, Chanura, Mushtika, everybody is finished by these two young boys. They look like, super heavyweight against a super lightweight. Olympics. It's completely unfair. But it landed up that the super lightweight happened to be really heavyweight. He finished both Chanura and Mushtika. And then when Kamsa was shouting all this nonsense, he leaped over the army, stepped over, jumped across and went onto the throne, caught hold of his hair and pulled him down and dragged him to the middle of the arena, sat on his chest and pounded his chest with his fist, and Kamsa was dead. And all the people, all his devotees and all the gopas and all of them were whistling and dancing and jumping. For this reason he came, to make them all very happy, to finish Paritranaya Sadhunam, Vinashaya cha Dushkritam. The Dushkritis, finish them in front of my devotees, to proclaim that my devotees will always be protected. They are good. They follow the path of my instructions. They will always be victorious. To deeply send this message, powerfully send this message in human society, I come for that. Killing demons is very casual for me. So this is the sequence. And then he's telling, therefore, you do like in the past, all the people did and achieved perfection. You also do the same. Each shloka ends with that. So this is the sequence. Now, if you have any questions, please address them. Any questions? This is the first time you can see actually Krishna has started revealing himself. In the second chapter, he spoke about Atma, about the body, about the spirit soul, about the laws governing spirit, soul, and matter, your identity as spirit soul. All these things he spoke in great detail about karma yoga and action and so many things. In the third chapter, he went a little more detail into what is action and karma yoga. And now he is going to explain what is really knowledge. And inside that he's telling, knowing me is the topmost knowledge. You'll read now further, you'll understand that also in this chapter. Good night. Hare Krishna. Om Tat Sat.